And on this Sunday, we say hello, Canada, and welcome to the heart of the Shoe Swamp. We are in Salmon, BC for the M&M Canadian Juniors. We have the men's final for you a little later. The women's final coming up, the defending champion, Kaitlyn out of the Pembina Curling Club in Winnipeg against Rachel Homan from the Ottawa Curling Club. Two best teams all week long here in Salmon Arm. Nice to be with you. Nice to have Russ Howard alongside, as Russ has been here all week. His daughter Ashley was skipping New Brunswick.
Yeah, Vic, I showed up here with a full head of hair, but actually had a lot of fun.
Yeah, your nails are a little shorter. Let's take a look at the final standings. And you'll see that Ontario, Alberta, Manitoba, 1, 2, 3, and they were free and clear right to the playoffs. And the other thing is we take a look at the rest of the standings. You'll notice 13 teams, because in junior play, they do not combine the Northwest Territories and Yukon. And you see Ashley got off to a good start, but ended up at 5 and 7. Semi-final, Casey Scheidegger out of Lethbridge playing for Alberta. And this was in the fourth. What a nice shot by Laws.
Just to see this shot, Vic, is unbelievable, but they executed was a great shot, and it shows you how good a team this really is. It
went to an extra tied 6-6, and then Scheidegger went a little bit deep with her last one.
Yeah, if she'd been top 8, this would have been a world of hurt for Manitoba. What a great shot for Kaitlyn.
And so it ended up a win for the defending champion, Laws, and so now she'll go against Rachel Homan of Ontario out of Ottawa. Two of the very best are hooking up in this women's final. So we're glad that you're with us here in Salmon Arm. It's the M&M Canadian Juniors here on TSN.
The M&M Meat Shops Canadian Juniors is brought to you by M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle. By Tim Hortons Green Tea and New Trail Mix Cookie. By Ford, powered by you. And by Cashmere. Nothing feels like Cashmere.
Canada's largest coast-to-coast mover, AMJ Campbell, has been moving households and offices locally and internationally since 1934. As the most trusted movers in Canada, AMJ Campbell is your source for your home, office, or do-it-yourself move. At AMJ Campbell, we treat your possessions like they're our own. AMJ Campbell is the only moving company that you can pay on your Sears card to earn Sears Club points. Thinking of moving? Call AMJ Campbell.
Hey, Bill.
Steve, looks like you had a barbecue meltdown.
Right before the big party.
Come on, we'll get you started again.
Planning on making some changes to your backyard? From barbecues and lawnmowers to garden tools and accessories, we've got you covered. Plus, friendly expert advice. Start right at True Value for all your do-it-yourself projects.
Perfect.
Thanks again, Bill.
Whoops, don't forget your fire extinguisher.
True Value. Start right, start here.
Team Ontario going through their final practice slides. Rachel Homan of the Ottawa Curling Club as we welcome you back to the Sunwave Center here in Salmon Arm. Let's meet the teams. It's brought to you by M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle. They curl out of the Ottawa Curling Club. Rachel Homan is the 19-year-old skip. Their lead is Lynn Kraviasik. Allison Kraviasik, her sister, is the second, and Emma Miskew is the third. The Manitoba and defending national champions come out of the Pembina Curling Club in Winnipeg, skipped by 20-year-old Kaitlyn Laws. Brianne Meekin is the lead. Larissa Grenkow and Jen Loader throw second and third stones, respectively. Because Ontario finished clearly in first place, they have the option of both the hammer and the choice of stones. So they will play the red stones. Manitoba will play the yellow. And we're ready to begin this women's final of the M&M Canadian Juniors. And to get us going, this is the Manitoba lead, Brianne Meekin. And it'll be interesting, I think, Russ, just to see how aggressive they are. We saw in the semifinal yesterday, the first two ends were blanked as the teams just maybe just wanted to wait, check things out. Now Meekin is going in. It'll be all important, of course, to see where Rachel Homan decides to go with Lynn Kraviasik.
Well, with a sudden death game like this, and all the chips are on the line, I think Rachel's going to hit it. But both these teams are very aggressive, and once the opening rock's a little farther from the button, I think they're going to take some chances to open some corner guards and get into the offensive game, because these are the two best teams all week with the offense. There's no question about it.
You see that Lynn Kraviasik is ranked 4th in terms of lead play throughout the week. Brianne Meekin was number 1 at 84% compared to Kraviasik's 78.
Yeah, it was interesting. Manitoba had the quite an advantage, a 6-point advantage at the lead position, when they lose 5 points at the second position to the Ontario girl. And these vices are even, and it really came down to the skips for during the week. And Rachel had a great week at 80%, 8 points better than Kaitlyn. But the way Kaitlyn played yesterday, Rachel's going to have to play every bit as well as she did all week, or a little bit better.
Yep, all the way. Yep. Go for it. You lost the bobby pin on here. Let's go.
The Sunwave Center celebrating its 10th anniversary. This September, it's a twin pad facility. There's a rink, a hockey rink just next door, part of the complex. This building seats about 1,500, home of the Salmon Arm Silverbacks of the BC Junior Hockey League. And Silverbacks currently in 2nd place in the interior division, but they're on a 6-game road trip because of the M&M Canadian Juniors taking over their building.
Sorry, guys.
So up and down the sheet to start, and now it's a Larissa Grenkow.
With only 10 minutes of practice, you know, there's a little bit of nerves. There has to be, even though they've been in the final before, and they're not going to take any chances in the first end. They're going to wait for a mistake if they get it and capitalize. But it's pretty common to see the teams do this nowadays.
Well, the other thing is that these teams, I'll suggest to you, are mature. These two in particular are mature beyond their curling years. When you think about, here's the defending champion Laws and her team. They play in women's Bonspiels. They play in the Casino of Winnipeg event. It's a major stop on the tour. We have Rachel Homan's team, who won 2 events on the women's tour this year. They won one in London, and they won an Ottawa event where they beat Sherry Madaw in the final.
They're one of the top ladies teams, let alone junior, in the country, and certainly they're not going to be intimidated by the defending champions here at all. But like I said, Kaitlyn played so well yesterday that there should be a lot of great shots made in this game.
Normal. Clean, 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 clean. Keep it clean. Yep. Clean, clean, just clean. Nice throw.
Now we've almost got something outside the rings, but not going to go around it this time. Rachel says, look, it does help when you play women's teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think we bring more of an aggressive style, which might be more geared towards the women, whereas the juniors like to keep it a little more simple, and they don't like, they like to keep it a little more simple with just a couple of rocks and maybe just like 1 or 2 guards, but we don't mind if there's a lot of rocks in play. And I think that might help us out with the strategy, knowing how the women play, and help us out this season playing the women.
She won 2 events. She finished 3rd in the other 2 events. And the key thing to take a look at is ranked number 10 currently in the ranking system to decide a team going to the Olympic trials to determine our Canadian representative in Vancouver. The possibility exists that this junior team could either be in the pre-trials in Prince George or in the trials themselves in Edmonton.
And it's a very realistic possibility. They are really, really well coached. Earl Morris has coached them since birth, I believe, and he's really molded them into a great team, and they're not afraid of anybody. And like you said, you start beating people like Sherry Madaw and some of the Ontario teams they've beaten on a regular basis. The ladies teams will be wishing they stayed junior forever.
And so Earl Morris, of course, 3 times at a Brier, 3 different provinces representing at the Brier.
That's a record, and Earl's a wonderful man, and obviously he knew what he was doing when he taught his son, John. So, wonderful coach.
But you would think that kind of experience for both of them. I mean, we know Laws has been here, she's the defending champion, but those experiences at that women's level compared to girls' level, and I'll use that just for description point. That's got to help. I mean, you're going to be nervous. It's a championship, certainly. But those experiences have got to mean something here.
Oh, it's huge. It's just huge, Vic. And you can't really, it's a little bit like Tiger Woods. You can have all the talent in the world, but you need the experience. You need both. And you can't, it's very difficult to create the experience at such a young age. And the very best way to do that is play the teams that have the experience. And that's what Earl's done, and that's what Robbie Meakin's done with these girls. They put them out against the best to become the best, and that's the only way to get any better. And it's worked. That's why they're here today. And there won't be very many strategy flaws in this game, I'll tell you.
Playing third stones here in a wide open first women's final of the M&M Canadian Juniors. This is Emma Miskew. The 19-year-old will celebrate her birthday on Valentine's Day. So she'll turn 20.
Yeah, guys, yep. Hard, hard. They'll glide, right?
And then they'll take it right back, edge of the 12-foot. Well, you mentioned Rob Meakin, of course. Fans across the country will remember him and his 95 Canadian championship, world championship with Carrie Burtnick. But the knees have given out for Rob, and despite some surgery to clean them, he just can't play anymore.
Wonderful guy, and you know, to play with Carrie all those years, you can't have a better mentor than Carrie Burtnick, and he's obviously passed on his knowledge to the girls, and it paid off for Kaitlyn last year, and Robbie's daughter's on the team playing lead, and Brianna's played, she was the best lead all week, and again, the experience has helped there also.
Last year's championship, beating Saskatchewan and Stephanie McVicker. That was in Sault Ste. Marie. Good bit of brushing to hold it, and they'll lose the shooter out the back. Kaitlyn knows that she is playing one of the best junior or women's teams in the country in Rachel Homan.
They're phenomenal. They're all great shooters. I wouldn't expect anything less from them in the final. I expect lots of rocks and play from them. They know how to play with rocks and keep it simple too.
And that's what we've got here in this opening and a very simple end, as it were.
The thing that really struck me watching both these teams all week is the communication. Like, all these teams can play, they all throw well. Most of them, their attitudes are wonderful, and you know, they're not going to fold under pressure, but it's the communication. Like, the sweepers are yelling constant information back and forth. It gives the vice a chance to really realize how much curl there's going to be in this ice, and it's tough playing the come-arounds right now because there's so much curl with these rocks. You have to know exactly the speed that's coming at you, or you can't call the line.
Well, in practice, we were seeing is she'll throw it through. We were seeing, what, 4 feet?
Exactly.
Conservatively 4 feet.
Yeah, at least 4. And then as the game goes along, it'll get a little bit straighter, as most arena ices do, and the pebble wears off a little bit. And they have to adjust to that, and that's hard to do. You visualize 4 feet, 4 feet, 4 feet, and then in the 8th end, you're playing a come-around that bends 3 feet. And the skips have to make that adjustment. And the weight doesn't change much at all. BJ Gagnon's done an unbelievable job with the surface. But it does get a little bit straighter. So as the game wears on, if you see any misses, it'll usually be on the wide side.
Yeah.
So just outside the rings, does Manitoba try to play down to it?
Yeah, this is what we call a freebie. They've just missed, but it's close enough that they can freeze and put a little pressure on Ontario. And a really well-glued freeze in there will stop Rachel from blanking the end.
Line's good. Gotta go. Roll in. Line's good.
So it's the
7. Wait, only lots of room.
Larissa Grenkow
Yep.
and Brianne Meakin, the front end of this Manitoba team out of Pembina, the curling club in Winnipeg.
Yep.
Not quite. She'll stop 8-foot tee line.
They would have liked to have that back a little farther, but the back rock's going to be in Rachel's mind. She can't cross this. She has to hit it on the high side. There's only one way to make this. She's taking really tight ice, so she's going to throw this pretty hard.
Final stone here in this opening end, the M&M Canadian Juniors from Salmon Arm, BC.
Nice shot. Sweet, guys.
Very nice shot. And so the blank in the first means Ontario and Rachel Homan out of the Ottawa Curling Club will hold the hammer when we come back to Salmon Arm.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by FedEx. Relax, it's FedEx.
Back inside the Sports Center newsroom, I'm Corey Warren. The early edition scheduled to come your way at 6 o'clock Eastern time. Let's get you up to speed. The stories we're following on this Sunday, little rematch of the Stanley Cup Final. Red Wings and Penguins, third period. Marion hosts a great solo effort, scores against his former team, his 30th. Detroit leading 3-0. Senators forward Chris Neal suffered a laceration to his right calf last night against the Buffalo Sabres. He will not be joining his teammates on their upcoming road trip. The Phillies have agreed to a 3-year, $54 million deal with first baseman Ryan Howard, avoiding an arbitration hearing. Howard led the majors in home runs and RBIs last season. And Canadian speed skater Christina Groves won a silver medal at the World All-Round Championships in Norway. We will have that and a whole lot more coming up on the early edition of Sports Center. We're scheduled to come your way following the curling this afternoon at 6 o'clock Eastern time.
Introducing Flex. It pushes all the right buttons.
Congratulations, Sabrina. You got the promotion. Senior accountant.
Thank you.
If you're celebrating, M&M Meat Chops has delicious meal ideas.
Guess this is your job now.
And if you're stuck working late, we also have really fast meal ideas. Because when time isn't on your side, we are.
Rule number 29. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Beside Nat Bailey Stadium. Now, what they've built here for the 2010 Winter Games is a local sports center. They're going to have a hockey rink. They're going to also have a curling facility. It'll seat around 4,000 for curling. And then the old community center at Hillcrest will be torn down. But that's the facility. It's actually going to be opening in about a week and a half. And the first tent event is the World Wheelchair Curling Championship, and then the World Juniors will follow that. So they're going to have 2 test events prior to the Olympic Games in 2010.
This came back. It looked like it was getting by the guard quite easy. I don't want to hit a smudge mark or a little bit of a flats, but it moved hard on the girls a little quicker than they thought it was going to. And they just barely got that by. Good sweeping.
Throw up. Clean. Yep. Yes. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah.
Larissa Grenko.
Whoa. Clean. Close. Yeah. Whoa. Yes. Hard.
Atta girl.
From the overhead, it looks like she may have got just a little bit more of a rub, and she may be the shot stone. It's tough to see.
Just a little bit more.
Nice shot there. The top red one was dead buried. They elected to go for the back rock, which is what we usually don't do. You want to hit the top one all the time, but it wasn't accessible. And she managed to hit it thick enough to bump it out in the open a little bit. The good news for Ontario, though, is they got an angle on this. They're in front, and they can tap this roll buried and sit to.
Hack up. Forward.
Allison Kreviasik.
Forward up. Yeah. Hard. 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 Hard, guys. Hard. Hard, guys. You got it. Hard.
Got it by the guard. They do. Angle it back, and there it goes. And without the hammer, here in 7, Ontario's line 2. And they got that roll, too. There's that stone that rolled over and sits on the edge of the 4-foot tee line, and it is behind that long yellow guard.
Yeah, really nice weight control again. Good. The angle was set up to make the roll, and they made it perfectly. But this is behind a corner guard, and that's not what Rachel wants. Manitoba taps this a bit or locks it on properly. It's a really good opportunity to score, too. Even if they bump it back 4, back 8, it'll create a little bit of a wall with both red ones.
Curl up. That's nice, Larissa. Good throw.
Nice shot. all of a sudden the two red Ontario rocks become very detrimental for Rachel, and it's going to be a little more difficult to remove this yellow rock. And without hammer, she really would like to get the yellow one out of the ring. So.
No, I think less weight if anything. Okay. I can't see a lot of it.
What are you throwing? 50?
Emma Mystery. As Linda often says, you know, it's difficult sometimes for club curlers to ignore those stones that are back, but those red stones can be your friend.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You start to panic.
Hard, reach hard, hard, hard.
Nice shot.
Oh, very nice to move it enough. You know, when you see stones like that in the back, you know, and it almost, am I right in saying that you take almost a skins mentality?
Yes.
That you just forget them. They're not worth anything. I mean, you can use them, but they're not worth anything to anybody.
The players are that good, they're that confident, they feel they're going to make their last shot, and stats tell you they'll make their last shot 85% of the time on such good surfaces. So, yeah, they're not worried that they have to draw against 2 or 3, and this gives them a chance to create a little more pressure on the opponent and create a miss. A little hit and flop here would be real nice.
Gentle loader.
Okay, that's
And
nice.
he'll avoid the jam at the back as well. Sits wide open.
Yeah, they're caught in between there. They could have let it bend, made the double set too, or they could have taken a little more ice and rolled buried. Either one were good, and they were right in between here in the middle, which happens to my team all the time. Rachel still has to be careful, though. Again, the two back rocks aren't helping her.
Oh no, the jam possibility's there.
For sure. Not very heavy here. That's going to over curl, I think.
And the shooter will sit. Ontario is lying 1 without the hammer, close for 2.
I think so.
2 stones around the edge of the 8, and you can see Kaitlyn Laws having a look.
I don't mind this.
Yeah.
Might jam there, but that's fine. Troll up.
Another good call by the young skip. Hit the top rock. It's hard to do anything with the back one. You hit the top one here, you roll buried, you really put pressure on Ontario.
Troll up. Troll up.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa. Clean.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
It's got to be close.
Short. Go, go, go.
Beauty.
She'll tuck a piece behind.
Good one.
Decided it.
What's that?
Yeah. They look like they've been taking quite a bit of ice here.
Not that much.
Rachel really can't get at that yellow rock, so she'd love to corner freeze, good half around this rock and put a little pressure on the Manitoba team. But if she throws this rock a little deep or it bounces off, it could create a really nice double for Kaitlyn, and all of a sudden the 3 ends on. So this rock placement has to be perfect. In front of the tee line, but not too high. Usually in arena conditions, Vic, once this bends off the tape, it's actually the quickest spot on the sheet. We don't play the edge of the forefoots as much. If this curls a little bit, it's actually going to be heavy.
Pick 7, just 7.
I think it just picked.
Whoa.
Picking.
No.
No bumping.
It's bumping? Nice shot.
Good. 65?
What was that?
65.
Well, Karen Port has come back to tie Barb Spencer. That's in the Manitoba women's final through 7 in Nipowa. And Pat Simmons, they're calling it the drive for 5. 5 straight appearances for Simmons, and he's come back to tie Joel Jordison. who won the earlier semifinal over Brad Height. So they're tied at pair as well. That's to decide the Saskatchewan men's champion.
Joel's had a wonderful season on the Gold Trail. He's won a lot of games, beaten some good teams, and of course Pat's the guy to beat. So that should go right down the wire, that one.
Interestingly enough, I think Jordison was ranked #1 in the province.
I wouldn't doubt it. I think they've had a really nice year.
First stone for Kaitlyn Laws.
Have to bump it just a little.
Oh, good brush. Very nice.
Oh.
Front end. Meek and Grenko.
Another great throw by Kaitlyn. Rachel's actually picked a little bit to get in there. There's a little unnatural curl, and that'll sometimes throw off the other skip throwing the exact same shot. But she knew where to put the broom, perfect weight, and Rachel's got to glue one in there really tight, or they're going to give up 2.
Final stone for Ontario and Rachel Homan.
No bounce. No bounce. Whoa, looks way up. No line at all. Bumping.
A little bit wider, might be hot.
It's not moving at all.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ.
10. Are we yeah, we would for sure. Same weight. Yeah.
A wee bit of adrenaline there, I would think. You know, you're throwing at a rock. You can be a hair heavy because you can hit it, but only a foot, and that was 6 or 7 feet heavy. Rachel won't be happy with that one. To her defense, it was right down the center, and it sometimes slows down a little bit, but this ice is so good. It hasn't started to slow down at all, and she just overthrew that. It's the third end in a row. The 2 skips have had a tough shot for 2, and this is a huge point.
Manitoba and Laws have won. They're sitting shot stone.
Where?
T-line, edge of the 4-foot.
Line's good. 4 foot. 4 foot. Take a look.
It's not heavy.
You gotta go. You gotta go hard. We're there.
Gotta go. Jenna Loader out 2.
4 foot. Line's good. 4 foot. You gotta go hard. Right to it. You got it, ladies. We're there. Good brush.
You got it, ladies. Great brushing. Russ has been saying great communication by both front ends. Results in Manitoba picking up the first deuce of the game, and they have a 3-2 lead.
Introducing Flex. It pushes all the right buttons.
Presenting Build Your Own Briar. Check our schedule online. Pick the days, pick the times, and build the perfect package to work with your schedule.
Give me a good curling party, and nothing else matters.
Redeeming your points with rewards credit cards can be really
Hard! Hurry hard!
with their rewards expiration and redemption fees. Getting rewards you actually want can be really But with the Capital One Curling Platinum card, redeeming is
easy.
Introducing the Capital One Curling Platinum card. Redeem for merchandise, equipment, and unique curling experiences. Visit CapitalOne.ca to find out more.
What's in your wallet?
When arthritis pain strikes, you want relief fast. You also want it to last. Trust Tylenol Arthritis so you can get back to normal.
Just be yourself.
Whatever your normal is. Tylenol Arthritis. The first layer relieves pain fast. The other keeps working for all workday relief of arthritis pain. Tylenol arthritis. Get back to normal, whatever your normal is.
British couldn't do it, the French couldn't do it, it was just us, the Canadian Corps.
World War I. 600,000 Canadian troops left their homeland. 20,000 of them found Passchendaele, the greatest battle in our nation's history.
They got a name for us. They call us stormtroopers.
Is now the biggest Canadian film of the year. Own a piece of Canadian history. Their story.
Bring on the hell.
Is our story. Passchendaele. Now available on DVD and Blu-ray.
Every night, millions of Canadians sleep easy, knowing they have their licensed insurance broker to champion their needs in the event of a claim. Your best insurance is an insurance broker.
The generation that swore it would never get old didn't. Welcome to the summer of life.
2, 3.
It was the first time, really, though, Russ, that we saw somebody take advantage of the mistake.
Right.
And when, you know, Rachel goes deep, almost through, she pounced on her for the deuce. Let's take a look at some of the player numbers now. They're brought to you by True Value Hardware. Start right, start here. The two leads, of course, Brianne Meekin, Manitoba, Lynn Kreviasek for Ontario. And dead equal. Dead even at 89%.
Where? To it. Room, more line. 6.
Those are great numbers. The average lead was 75% during the week. That's a big score.
It's getting better. It's all yours. Yeah. Getting better. 5,
Brianne Meekin, the number one lead the entire week, averaging 84%.
Yeah, right over.
Lynn Kreviasek was number 4 at 78.
Atta girl. Hitting the half?
Yeah. Wide's tolerance.
Yeah, back. Whoa, whoa, it's pretty good. Clean, just clean. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No.
It's going out.
Ah. 11. Roll it over, Al.
No, don't touch it. Good shot.
It's okay.
Great throw. They punch both opponents' rocks behind the tee line. That's a really nice shot. Save the shooter. I love the soft weight they throw there. They really, there's definitely an appropriate weight for all shots, and that was it. By not throwing it hard enough to get through the rings, you had to hang around. And as long as you hit it in the right spot, you move them behind the tee line. And nice situation for Ontario.
Control up. All. Control up. No.
Larissa Grenko.
Anything?
Got a piece. That's fine.
There is. All right. That works.
Getting a little straighter, you can see it. A lot more shots are missed wide. He would have loved to have stayed in front of the tee line and forced Homan to make a play. Now with everything behind the tee line and a corner guard, they'll go to the offensive attack and see if they can put some pressure on Manitoba, either by freezing or going around the corner guard.
Looks great.
Allison Kreviasek.
7, 8.
Whoa, looks way up. Don't touch.
No, it's good.
It's not moving at all.
This isn't adrenaline. This is ice straightening up.
And it is a little heavy, so we can't just blame the ice maker. But yeah, a little deep. But you're right. We're seeing it more and more times here during the game. It's getting a little bit straighter.
Let's take a look at the second numbers, and oh boy, Kreviasek with a big advantage over Larissa Grenko.
Throw normal.
Sometimes it's tough too. The Manitoba team plays very aggressively, and that creates tougher shots for her front end. And you take a guard, it's a 0.
Roll your way, Jenna, if you can. That's fine. Nice throw.
Now she gets full points for that. So throw away the number. No, I mean, you're not the only one to say it. It's the right shot, right time. There are some people who do not believe in the numbers.
Yeah. They're very misleading in a lot of cases. There's a good miss and a bad miss, right? A foot short of the rings is a 0. A foot through the rings is a 0.
Little more.
But the foot short of a rings can be tapped up, dead buried. Now you score 2. There's definitely good and bad misses in this sport. And, these two teams are so good at that. I heard them say just a minute ago that when one of the girls was throwing, it was actually Lynn. Lynn was throwing a tap back. Her second stone said to her, the tolerance is wide, the tolerance is light, or they were giving them options on how to miss. Not that you're going to go out there and miss 20 shots perfectly, because that doesn't do you any good either, but there's a smart way to miss a curling shot.
Control up. Actually, do you have almost all?
Yeah.
Go, Norm.
Watching Manitoba all week, the only criticism I have is when they get into this situation, they'll hit and stay, hit and stay, hit and stay, and that looks pretty impressive with 5 or 6 yellow rocks. But if they're all behind the tee line, Ontario can create a little wall here and get to the situation that Manitoba is a very difficult shot to remove the red.
And once again, shooter Sting. This one, though, is just back of the button. But, you know, there you go. Just punch it back. There's that little wall building up at the back of the
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's a game of misses. And if Homan can punch this back 3 or 4 feet, it's going to be very difficult to remove. Even if they get it out, then the wall's still there. They freeze one in, and Manitoba's going to have to freeze themselves.
Yes! That's what she wants. Whoa! It's like hitting it through. Yeah, 11. No. No, not hitting it through. Close, though. 11. It's 11. Yep, yep. Oh.
The numbers for the
We're
thirds,
1
Emma
and 2. Do you
Miskew
like
and
feeling?
Jenna Loader.
Or do you want to just get rid of this?
And that's
I like ribbing.
73 for Miskew. She came in at a 79%, Loader at 79, and that's what she
We can rip.
curled the entire week
This one?
competition.
Okay.
What if they get the perfect hit and flop?
Roll out. Normal.
The problem with hitting this rock, Vic, is it doesn't. It's good. You're winning by 1. You have to remove the opponent's rock when you're winning, but Ontario is going to make them pay.
Normal. Clean. Clean.
Yeah. All the way.
Hard.
Hard.
Straight up.
Right out. Hard on the shooter. That's good. Nice shot.
Now this was the. This isn't the shot that Jenna Loader, the third, was a little bit worried about when she was in the hack. This shot coming up now, if it's made perfectly, it's going to be tough to remove, and that's what we've been talking about all along. I don't like the Manitoba strategy of hanging around. They bump this back 2 or 3 feet. The wall's going to be so big, it's going to be tough to remove.
Whoa. Allie, on this side.
Just a hair lighted over curled for the first one in a little while, and it gives Manitoba a note. But if that had been tapped back, it would have been really tough. Pretty simple shot here. It's pretty wide
and try to
open.
remove a lot of the backing back there. We might be able to get rid of like 2 or 3. Just normal.
Push that back a little bit. A lot of weight. This might hang.
Clean it. Clean. Oh. Curl up.
Yeah, that's okay.
nice pick. But still something to work with for Ontario.
Most definitely, Vic. Inside freeze, tap it back a foot. It's going to be really tough for Laws to get that out of there. And it's a nice opportunity for Ontario.
It would be nice to clear off some of those back ones today. Oh well.
We just heard them there, Vic, saying that it would have been nice to clear those back ones, and it's the wrong time to think about it, but that's how you learn.
Weight's good. Okay. 8 on its own.
That's
Line's pretty good.
Eight,
That's
nine.
only. Line's good.
8, 9.
Clean it.
9, 10.
Whoa.
9.
It's not curling at all. Yeah, it's good.
That's fine. Yours are really coming down.
Take a look at the
It's good.
skip numbers.
Okay.
And Homan with the advantage, obviously, over Laws.
Or is it going straight onto ours?
But the advantage on the board is 3-2 Manitoba.
It's not hit and roll right over.
And
Might be able to
Ontario's
get
had a
spin
few
out.
chances here.
Yeah, and this one just barely slowed down in time, and it's what we feared all along for Manitoba. I don't know whether she can remove this rock. It's going to jam on the top and redirect onto the rock in the back 8-foot. And I don't think she can hit it thin enough to hit the back 8-foot one and roll
Oh,
out.
yeah.
And she created this mess by leaving the rocks in, and she
Is it
might
worth
actually have to
trying, or
freeze to this.
just sit on it and tap it back?
Yeah.
Or
I like that actually. It's like we gotta try to get it.
yeah.
Wait.
No, I don't know. Are they calling a time?
No.
What do you?
like?
I don't know if that's just coming here or spinning up.
Yeah. I think it is. I think it's just gonna come right into this.
It's overlapped. I hit it there.
You'd have to hit that side, right?
Like pretty thin.
Yeah. I think it might go.
Think it might?
What if we hit and flopped for second behind the guard?
Yeah. You just can't leave it double.
Even
up.
behind to leave like, yeah.
Will this one out count it though? Oh yeah. That's not bad.
Yeah, just roll it so that.
As long as we're 1-2. Control up.
The predicament here is he has to hit it a little on the outturn side, and I think by hitting it a little on the outturn side, it's going to jam. She hit it dead on, she'd be fine, but hitting it dead on, it'll redirect off the side yellow one. I'm not sure. I can't really tell from here, but it doesn't look like she can actually remove this.
So Manitoba's called a
freeze.
timeout. This is their second. And Rob Meegan has made his way to the floor.
That's a, yeah.
Enough to lie to. How are they going to make a double?
Right. Yeah.
Just move it like this much.
Move it around.
If you lie to, if you tap it back just a little bit.
Even if even if I just come to it, that's not the end of the world.
That's perfect.
Chris didn't curl at all. No. She gave here.
She gave edge of four.
I mean, if you hit and jam and roll it over, they might
Yeah.
have a crotch double or,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
you know.
It's T-line, back 4, back 8.
We gotta move it back 8.
Yeah, as long as we're
Back
line
4.
2 with that one behind there or
Okay.
freeze perfect.
Okay, let's make
You
it.
can just touch it a little even, like it's...
Yeah.
And that turn there wasn't curling that much when we get out there, eh? So...
Okay. Okay, sounds good.
Well, a couple of things stand out for me is you try to just move it over, move it back enough, try and lie to. But what Rob picked up on was, in fact, that the ice is straightening out. So that's a little bit of a reminder. Now, we want to update as Kaitlyn makes her way down to throw her last stone. An update on the Saskatchewan men's play down. And it is Joel Jordison out of Moose Jaw, who has now taken a 5-3 lead over Simmons. Jordison looking to win his first Saskatchewan championship.
Yeah, this is where it gets tough down the last couple of ends, just like the game we're watching. It's who's going to handle the pressure the best. And what a fabulous timeout by Rob there. He not only gave them the right option and not to play the hit, to tap it a bit, to sit 2, but it gave them the B mode, which is to freeze. The freeze is also a great shot, as long as the angle's good. And then he also told them where to put the broom. That's a lot to do in 60 seconds.
6. Yeah. You gotta go line. Whoa.
So the final stone for Manitoba and Kaitlyn Laws. Right now it is Ontario lying 1.
Hold it. Clean it. 8, 9. Clean. No. Clean it. No. Clean it, please.
That's the curl.
That's good, Kaitlyn. Nice.
That work?
Maybe. Definitely she can hit it dead on. Yeah, it does work. It definitely by hitting it dead on, they can remove the yellow, no problem for the score of 1. But it looks like the Manitoba has just punched the red one far enough that it'll slide through the hole, and well, she's going to score 2.
Move it to here. You have a catcher.
If you over curl, that's fine.
Do you want to throw a lot and wick this onto that?
I don't like throwing a lot because if we wick that.
Sorry?
I don't like throwing a lot because we can't take that out. I like throwing like hack max, and then if you over curl and you go to nose, that's fine.
What are you trying to do?
Can you really?
Hack won't move it though.
Is there a thin double here to
You
get
can't
a
throw
deuce?
too much though.
That's what they're calling it. That's what it looks like.
If you have
Yes,
any
but
upright, if
it's
you have too much, you
very,
can hit
very
this out,
tricky. You
and
should
if you
hit
have
it
too little,
super
you're gonna
thin.
take it out.
It's not there with hack though.
I think so.
I got hit there. and
Unless
I'm
you
gonna
throw
roll
back line and just hope you stick. Gotta hit half. A little less than half.
No, I think it jams.
Just go for one then.
Sorry?
It's not there, we just have to go for one.
This is there though.
Okay, if you like it.
Okay,
What if you hit
so Rachel likes it,
and then hit ours?
but you heard Emma say,
How much you throwing?
let's go for one. Take a look at the scoreboard and make your decision based on that.
Absolutely, and this is the, you know, it's a junior that obviously thinks she can make
Maybe we have
everything.
to make
That's why
sure we
she's
take
so
one.
good. But
Sorry?
in this
I think we have to make
situation,
sure we take one.
it might be
Take
detrimental.
control.
Okay.
So
Just touch it, guys.
the brush is down with the thought of making it. This is the skipper's call. If you
We should go board.
if you play the little tap back for your single, you'd be tied at 3.
What?
And you hold the other team to 1, and they're going to call a timeout here, and now the coach, Cheryl Morris, will have his say.
What they're talking about is actually hitting it incredibly thin and having what they call a catcher, which is the yellow in the back forefoot, and trying to save the shooter, because by hitting the top yellow so thin, your shooter is going to roll way too far. So there's definitely a catcher.
Tell for sure what you were thinking of calling, whether you're going after the 2 or just making sure you're going to get the 1, because it's really dangerous if we don't get in the right spot. The red one leaves town, both red ones leave town, and we give up a bigger end. I think we've got to be really careful.
Back line?
Sorry?
Back line?
Well, I think enough to make sure, as long as you hit that on the nose, you're going to get 1. I just don't like the idea of going after 2 here because of the downsides, but...
I like trying to, but if it's not working out, just let it curl to get 1.
Okay, because we got to make, obviously got to make contact in a pretty perfect
Back line?
spot.
Yeah.
You like back line? Okay.
Because this isn't going to move too far if I only have back line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if you throw hack at it, and are you trying for? You still going to try for 2?
Yeah.
I think that's a good possibility. It's a really tough shot, skipper.
Yeah, but with back line, I mean, if it's over curling, then we'll just leave it and hit there. I'm not going to roll very far with back
Yeah.
line.
Well, even if you throw a hack,
Okay.
No,
as
back
long as
line.
we move it.
It's interesting, Russ.
Sorry?
This seed of trying it
All right.
has been planted with the skipper.
Yeah.
And she's not going to give up on it, it would seem. Now, in her defense, she's saying, look,
Touch more. It'll curl.
we still, if it over curls, we'll get rid of the yellow, we'll lose the shooter, we'll still get our 1. But she really wants to go after this deuce.
Yeah, because it's a chance to, you know, possibly win the game. But Earl was also right that this is tough.
He tried to talk her out of it.
He did. He was like, you know, please let's take a look at the other option. But he also handled it well. If skipper thinks he can make it, then let her go. But tough shot.
And the rest of your team, as you well know, that's when you have to bite the lip and just say, this is what she wants to do.
Yep.
So right now, it's Manitoba line 1, leading by 1. Final stone here in 8.
What usually happens in these situations is you know you can't miss wide, so you get to the inside and end up scoring 1. This is close.
Off.
Oh, now I got to sit, and it'll be a steal of 1. Steal of 1 for Manitoba. And the coach, Cheryl Morris, working on the gum and biting his lip.
This SportsCenter update is brought to you by Tim Hortons Green Tea and New Trail Mix Cookie. It's the perfect afternoon snack.
Back inside the Sports Center newsroom, I'm Corey Warren. The early edition coming up right after the curling today. Let's show you some of the stories that we're working on as we begin on the ice. Afternoon hockey. Oilers and Wild, 1-0 Edmonton in the first one. Eric Belanger fires a shot from, or well past Dwayne Rollison from the wing. His 11th of the season, tied at 1-2. Stanley Cup final rematch, Wings and Penguins, third period. It's all Marion hosts a great solo effort. Scores against his former team. That's his 30th. Wings win it 3-0 the final. Flyers and Thrashers, first period. Jeff Carter corrals the loose puck. He's got his 33rd of the season. It's 2-0 Flyers through 40 minutes of play. Elsewhere in Philadelphia, the Phillies avoid arbitration with Ryan Howard, agreeing on a new 3-year contract worth $54 million. We will have that and a whole lot more coming up on SportsCenter.
The copier isn't working. Again. Discover the restart button.
These numbers just don't make any sense.
Carry the 1 and you will have your answer.
I should really eat something.
Relax with a green tea and trail mix cookie from Tim Hortons.
Good idea.
Beware of approaching mail cart.
Huh?
Enjoy a green tea with our new trail mix cookie, just $1.99. Always a great value.
Always fresh, always Tim Hortons.
Yes, do hurry. Our 54-piece Oriental Party Pack is just $9.99 for a limited time. No Bonspiel is complete without these delicious appetizers. M&M meat chops, hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle. There is no better delivery in the house than our shrimp platter. And at that price, I'd say it hit right on the button. Hurry in. Our shrimp platter is just $9.99 for a limited time. M&M meat chops, hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle.
Rule number 29, where there's a will, there's a way. Number 11, be yourself. Number 60, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Every night, millions of Canadians sleep easy, knowing they have their licensed insurance broker on their side, offering a choice of the best insurance companies. Your best insurance is an insurance broker.
Tonight, legendary guards lead the charge on TSN. Steve Nash guides the Suns into Detroit to challenge Allen Iverson and the Pistons. Suns, Pistons, tonight at 8 on TSN.
The NHL on TSN. Tomorrow it's the Rangers and the Devils in New Jersey. Coverage 7 Eastern Time, 4 Pacific. Available TSN HD. We've been talking about this throughout the break. Was this the right call? Was Earl Morris looking at the scoreboard and saying, look, let's get the 1. Let's hold the hammer in 10 if possible. Tie the game. But she had this in her mind, Russ. She wanted to play this.
And you know, when the skip's that confident, you want to try it, but it really was low percentage and bad result. You had to throw it a little lighter, but the shot for 1 was obviously the easy call, but I think she wanted, because she was down when she went for the 2, but she had to hit that so thin. It was a tough shot, well thrown, but that could hurt.
Yeah, so Rachel Homan and Ontario give up. That's the big point there, isn't it? 8. The steal of the single means it's a 4-2 game. And now Ontario will try to climb and get it back in 9, but in 10, that's the all-important hammer. Would that be? That would belong, of course, to Manitoba. Whatever Ontario does here, they score a point or 2.
Momentum's changed for sure, but you know, Ontario, you look at them in the break, they still seem calm. Earl's got them well trained. They just have to score 2. Manitoba will play a little bit cautious not to give up a big end like a 3, and usually you can get your 2 that way. You're tied coming home. It's the national final. You get to throw 2 center guards. Ontario's still in good shape.
7. Hold in. 7. Room. To it. Hold on then. To it. Line's
Line's good. Just top 8. Pull if you can.
Pull if you can.
Needs to move. Are we tapping a bit?
Yeah. Just a hair.
Oh, wait, that's fine.
Good example, I think, for the young curlers coming up to that discussion. Earl, in my opinion, had the right answer. Rachel had the toughest shot. But I think what also happens, to be critical, is she knew she couldn't miss wide because they'd steal one, so you tend to miss on the narrow side, which cost the steal also. It was a dangerous shot, and you know, give her credit to try it. You know, it takes guts, and that's why she's Rachel Homan, one of the best players in the world. But, it probably wasn't the best timing to try it.
Coming down a lot. Good shot. Slowing down, eh? Control up. Okay.
Boy, they jumped this right away as soon as Larissa Renko let it go. Loader and Meekin. Oh, good brush. Great jump.
A little bit of a soft release here. I don't think she was narrow, just a little soft release, and then it took off fast, and they're lucky to get a buyer, to be honest. I think what's going to happen here now is Manitoba's going to keep tapping out those rocks. And 2 ends ago, that's where it got them into trouble. Or last end, I should say, got them into a bit of trouble by hitting and staying, hitting and staying, hitting, staying, and creating a wall. And they managed to get out of it with a steal, but the same thing could happen here. I wouldn't be opposed if I was the Manitoba coach to peel off that guard and let Rachel try to earn the 2 points without any rocks out in front to create problems for Manitoba. It's the guard that's going to create the problem here.
Keeping you updated on some of the other play downs, the Manitoba women's play down, and Barb Spencer ahead of Karen Porritt, 6-4. Spencer looking to win her second Manitoba Women's Championship.
Back 12's good. I don't mind a tap.
This is exactly what I talked about. I really like taking the guard off. They didn't do it last time. They had to do it this time because the red one was totally buried. But now Homan has a situation where you almost have to hit it. You could freeze, which isn't a bad call, but now they have to make all their shots perfect. One little hit and roll out or a double from Manitoba, and the 2 enders gone. And the only way they were going to generate a big end was that corner guard. And smart move by taking it off.
So 85? Yeah. Wide's tolerance. Where is it? Whoa, whoa.
We're like,
just draw, straight draw. Okay.
Play?
Yeah.
Exactly what Manitoba wanted. No guard, so they're wide open hits. The 2 red ones are closer together. Eventually there could be a double here, and Ontario is not going to be able to roll out at all, or the end's over. So nice situation for Manitoba.
Troll up.
Clean. Close.
Pull.
Clean.
Pull.
Keep it clean.
Can you go that way?
Yep. Hard. Whoa.
Yep.
Good. Nice shot.
When do you start trying to freeze the stones if you're looking to get your deuce?
Right about now. I think you could tap that back a little bit. There's always an appropriate weight, as I mentioned before, and if you start throwing normal weight at this hit and roll out, the end's over. So you certainly can't throw much weight at this. You can tap it back a little bit with maybe back line to half. This freeze is also a great option.
Clean.
up a little.
Whoa.
Up a little.
Close. Yep. Clean. Yep. Hard. You shut him.
Shut.
Just sit right here. That's nice, Joe. Yeah. I like normal, though.
Okay.
Whoa, close.
Yeah!
Whoa, no!
Yeah! Hard!
Roll it over, roll it over.
Go, 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 go!
That a good.
You know, before when I was suggesting to you inconsistency in shot making, both teams showing it early. But I'll tell you what, Manitoba has been the more consistent team in the last couple of ends.
Done a great job of reading the ice too. They've really shrunk down the broom on the draws and the hits, and not overthrowing anything, and played very well.
Just hack!
The hard part here is you have to get this rock back behind the tee line eventually. You just sure don't want to roll out, but you also don't want to roll over to the red one and create a double. So you have to roll to the wide side, which is a tricky little shot. Beauty.
Nice shot.
The defending champion, Kaitlyn Laws, looking to win a second straight championship.
A lot of weight on this one, Vic.
Jump it over.
All right, that's fine. Sit.
And it'll sit on the edge of the 8 foot.
Just up. Up?
Yeah, I got an 8.
66.5.
You want to play a tap here, or do you want to play the freeze and try to be a little more aggressive?
You could do either. The problem with the freeze is you almost have to get to the nose, or there's going to be a red double. And I think she's just going to tap it out, roll to the center line, try to save the shooter, and then there might be a double opportunity for Kaitlyn. But it's really weight sensitive in this spot. We saw an intern hit and really take off here, and we saw Rachel miss one wide.
Up a little! Whoa, clean! Up, way up! Yes! Hard! 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 Hard, Ellie, roll it! Hard! Hard! Hard, hard, hard!
Roll it away, and they'll sit just back edge of the button.
Nice throw.
Sorry.
But if we play that, like, she has a chance to get 2 either way, right? Giving them 2 is fine.
Yeah, see, that's that is the kind of response we thought of that maybe Rachel should have had when in the 8th. You know, get the 1, give them 1, we'll have the hammer in 10. And that's exactly what Kaitlyn Laws said right there.
Absolutely.
You know, we'll give them the deuce, and we'll have the hammer in coming home. As Kaitlyn Laws looks to defend her title and knows that this is her last game as a junior.
I think. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to what the future has for us. You can only put in so much time with the juniors, so no, I'm really looking forward to what other challenges can come our way.
Kaitlyn, Jenna, and Larissa are all 20, and that's the age limit. And so they'll move on to women's play next.
I think she's going to give the double a crack here. It's pretty tight ice. She certainly doesn't want to miss it wide. Just making contact here is half the battle.
So she'll drive it by, and now the opportunity for Ontario to get their deuce and to tie it. But the all-important hammer will go to Manitoba coming home.
7-5. 7-5-8. Yeah. Do you have back?
I came out with lots. Shoot.
But at the same time, I mean, shoot, yes, but In her mind, she said, that's fine. We'll give them the deuce. We'll have the last rock.
That's all you can ask for when you're playing such a great team as Ontario, and you've got the chance with the last brick coming home, but it won't be easy. Ontario will be able to stick up 2 guards you can't do much with, and there'll be a lot of tough shots made before this thing's over.
Do we have backing? 8, no. 7, 8. Okay, we don't need it. I'm just wondering.
Okay, well then. Clean it. Keep it clean. Whoa, looks
8.
way
Uh-oh.
Should slow down in this spot
I mean,
a
you
little.
got all the 8 foot to work with
Good
here.
shot, Rach.
You got all the 8 foot to work with here. Center line back 8. Enough for 2. The women's final of the M&M Canadian Juniors will come down to the 10th.
We call it a crossover. Whatever you call it, you won't call it boring. The new Flex, only from Ford.
Canada's largest coast-to-coast mover, AMJ Campbell, has been moving households and offices locally and internationally since 1934. As the most trusted movers in Canada, AMJ Campbell is your source for your home, office, or do-it-yourself move. At AMJ Campbell, we treat your possessions like they're our own. AMJ Campbell is the only moving company that you can pay on your Sears card to earn Sears Club points. Thinking of moving? Call AMJ Campbell.
Slowly unfolding, soft petals caressing the skin, a calm within, bliss surrounds you like a cloud.
Nothing feels like cashmere.
Congratulations, Sabrina, you got the promotion. Senior accountant.
Thank you.
If you're celebrating, M&M Meat Chops has delicious meal ideas.
Guess this is your job now.
And if you're stuck working late, we also have really fast meal ideas. Because when time isn't on your side, we are.
What you're about to see will change the way you look at weather. Presenting the revolutionary Rain-X Latitude wiper blades. Many traditional wipers have 6 pressure points that can create uneven pressure and cause streaking. Rain-X Latitude blades contour to hug the windshield for greater visibility and virtually no streaking. So it's like weather never happened. Get ultimate visibility with Rain-X Latitude wiper blades. Rain-X, available at Walmart.
Every night, millions of Canadians sleep easy, knowing they have their licensed insurance broker working for them, providing coverage tailored to their particular needs. Your best insurance is an insurance broker.
NASCAR Speed Week continues. From Daytona. Next up, Sprint Cup Gatorade Duel. Qualifying races Thursday at 1. Leading to the 51st edition of the Great American Race, Daytona 500.
Our coverage of the M&M Meat Shop Canadian Juniors continues tonight at 7 Eastern Time. It'll be Northern Ontario Dylan Johnston against Brett Gallant from Charlottetown, PEI, both at 9-3. Johnston finishing first by virtue of a win in the round robin. Familiar face, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of her. She played well this week. It was a great ladies field. It was one of those ones, if you're on the wrong side of the inch, you could lose all your games. So they really enjoyed it, and they got another year, so hopefully they're back.
Here we go, the final end, and it's the hammer that belongs to Manitoba playing the Yellowstones.
Mine's great.
So the first Ontario stone from Lynn Kraviasik, a grade 12 high school student at Sir
That's
Robert
fine, Brianne.
Borden,
Atta girl.
is out in front, and around comes Brianne Meekin in her first year of science studies at the University of Manitoba.
All right, guys, even less. Okay. I just threw a 4.
Well, the classic situation with the free guard zone, the team without hammer has tremendous opportunity to steal. Rachel's going to throw a tight guard and then a long guard, keep some separation so that later on in the end there won't be a double. And Kaitlyn had 2 choices. She can play the tick shot, which is difficult but very effective if you make it, or the come around. And she's got the confidence in her lead that she can come around twice and put 2 rocks in front of the tee line and make it more difficult for Rachel to get in there for shot rock.
Sit down. Don't touch it. We're not there. Not there.
Just want to set up a double here. The young teams will say, well, there is no double because they can't hit it. Well, but they can hit it in the next shot and the next shot after that.
Way less. Where? Wait only. Room. Lots of room. Roll if you can. Roll if you can. No. No line. No line. Okay. 6. Oh. Curl. Oh. No. Oh. Sit. Good. Good weight.
Let's take a look at the game story now, and it's brought to you by Sponge Towels. Nothing absorbs like it. And it was conservative play, inconsistency on both sides, but then in the 7th, it was the first deuce of the game scored by Manitoba, and we'll always look back at that 8th, I think, Russ, and that decision by Rachel Homan to try the double instead of going for the 1, tying the game, trying to hold the hammer, and yes, down the stretch we come here in Salmon Arm. And a 4-4 tie, and Manitoba has the hammer.
Manitoba was giving them a little bit of an out. 2 beautiful shots by Meekin, but the second one's poked out in the open a little bit. Didn't quite curl. And the real trick to this sport is trying to get to the inside all the time. If Rachel can tap that one, roll to the inside, it's dead buried. And if the Manitoba second draw had come a little tighter to the center line, it would be impossible for Ontario to get to the inside. They'd roll outside, which makes it easier. So she's going to take advantage of this and try to throw a soft, heavy draw, tap it back, roll buried. She doesn't have to be shot rock. She just wants to get buried.
Allison Kreviasik is in her 3rd year of leisure studies at Ottawa University.
All the way, guys. Hard. Hard to stay. Hard. Hard. Get it by. Hard.
Oh, my.
It's got to get by.
Fuck.
No.
That's trouble. I don't know whether that grabbed something a little bit. They weren't too concerned about it till halfway down, but that's a huge mistake. It opens the front up.
Uh-oh. The jam on the other side as they get rid of the long guard. Larissa Grenko in her 3rd year of study of agronomy at the University of Manitoba.
Two. Weight's fine.
Just a 2, not a 3. Oh, no, no.
This is really how important rock positioning is, and of course as a skip you blame it on the front end every time anyways, but if this end ends up being perfectly played, like Ontario keeps throwing centers, they keep peeling, peel. Rachel's final shot at this point in time would probably be a straight back double, which is an easy shot, and then it's going to be tough for Manitoba to get in there. They're going to have to draw the full 4 with no backing. If that second yellow had been in line with the first yellow, Rachel would have to make the double roll out and give Manitoba the whole rings to draw to. So rock positioning is so crucial.
Oh, she got them both. Wow. Well, you hold your breath on this first one, but she gets just enough and makes the double.
And that's huge because it comes down to throwing some takeouts. It gives Manitoba a saver. They can roll out with their last shot, win the game with that rock, as opposed to having a red one in there. That was a really, I knew they weren't playing it, but that was option B for sure.
The Ontario third, Emma Miskew, is in her second year of industrial design at Carleton.
He'll stop 2. 3. Wait's fine. 3.
Okay, yep. Finish it, hard. Keep going. Right 3, hard.
Jenna Loader, also at the University of Manitoba, third year of nutritional science.
All the way. Hard. Go. Roll it. Straight up. Go. Hard.
What do you like? I can just freeze on that one, or I could play nose. You can touch this too. Yeah. Okay. Back 4.
80.
Okay. Just a bit more. Yep.
Wait's a little down.
Whoa. Yep.
Gotta go.
Hard then.
6.
Hard.
Like
That's
4.
over curling big time. It's,
6.
this side of the sheet seems to be still curling quite a bit. It's fooling the girls. They need to tap to get something behind the tee line, but I think it's going to over curl a lot.
No, leave it. Okay.
That was a 9.
Continuing to update the women's final in Manitoba, and they are tied at 6. And Joel Jordison has the lead and the hammer, playing in 10
All the way.
against Pat Simmons.
Clean. Atta girl. Nice throw.
Okay, Russ, you're down to Skip Stones here. You got to make a decision. What are you going to do?
Well, yeah, another guard is futile at this point in time because Manitoba will peel it, and it would be very difficult for Ontario to become shot rock. So what would be ideal here is to pump these rocks back a little bit, basically into this area here. If you can get even the shooter back to that point, if Manitoba doesn't peel the top rock and take out one of their own, there's going to be a nice little pocket for Homan to get in there and make it very tough. But this has to be really precise with the line and the weight. You want to pump it out of the rings, and you don't want to freeze to it.
Wait's great.
Rachel Homan, her first in her second year of
Line only. 10.
human kinetics study at Ottawa.
Little up. 10.
Not much handle. It should finish.
10, 11.
Nope.
Okay.
Don't you find also that she came at it with the other turn? I mean, wouldn't you have come at it with the
Yeah, I think I would have.
the in turn and tried to bump it back that way?
Yeah, that's the more natural shot. They'd played this one before, so I guess they were more comfortable with it. And, it's comfort at this point in time. These are big shots.
Just control. If we can hit and roll over a little bit, it'll be good.
That was Ontario's chance. They had to get to the nose of that and bump it there. Her weight wasn't far off, but she just didn't quite get to the nose.
Just control.
They've had a little trouble in this spot. One
It'll
over
run pretty
curls, one
straight
under
here.
curls.
Kaitlyn Laws, this will be her first 2 stones away from a possible second straight championship. She too studies nutritional science. She's in her second year at the University of Manitoba.
Control. Lean. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa.
Whoa. Let it curl.
That's fine. Okay. Good throw.
Just ran straight. Yeah, it didn't move any.
I think Kaitlyn was trying to roll on top, which would have been a nice call if you make it, but putting it where she did gives Ontario a little bit of a note. Ontario can roll half buried here, and it's going to make Kaitlyn's shot a lot harder than she'd want it to be to win a Canadian championship.
Well, you tease her then, right? I mean, if you just leave the corner showing, possibly.
Exactly, and the draw will be tough because it'll be close to the button, and then you're playing an angle raise to win, which could redirect onto this back rocket. I think in the perfect world, she should have just peeled that, and Rachel has to bump this back a couple of feet, and then you'd have a pretty easy pick to win the game.
Hack weight, roll it under.
But still not bad. It's not a long raise, and she's quite capable of making them.
Hack weight.
Oh, he's got to make it count here.
He's got to curl in a hurry.
Make it count. Final stone for Ontario and Rachel Homan. And she will not. She'll lose the shooter. And Manitoba and Kaitlyn Laws out of the Pembina Curling Club in Winnipeg will win back-to-back Canadian championships and close out their junior career. Congratulations to Kaitlyn Laws, Jenna Loader, Larissa Grenko, and Brianne Meakin.
The M&M Meat Chops Canadian Juniors is brought to you by M&M Meat Chops. Hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle. By Ford, powered by you. By Canada's favorite tissue products, proud supporters of women's curling. And by Tim Hortons green tea and new trail mix cookie.
Hey, I got your Tim's. Oh, great. I need that coffee. Oh, really? Then look at your desk.
How'd you do that?
Do what?
Well, my coffee just... Whoa! It's a breakfast sandwich.
Look again.
Hash brown. How you doing all this?
Magic.
It was a combo.
Ah, almost had him.
Everything you want in a breakfast combo. Just $4.49. Always a great value.
Always Tim Hortons.
Hey, Bob. Big mess at home. Uh-oh. Looks like you need a new kitchen faucet. Come on, let's get you started.
Thinking about a renovation? Before a small plumbing project bursts into a large problem, start right at True Value. You know you'll always find friendly expert advice for all your do-it-yourself projects.
Thanks again for all your help. Hey, don't forget your towel.
True Value. Start right, start here.
For 24 of Canada's top curling teams, the road goes through Prince George next November. A journey that began 4 long years ago and will end right here at the Road to the Roar. 24 of Canada's best teams, but only 8 will move on in their quest to wear the maple leaf. And the road is now open for you to get your tickets and to be a part of Canadian curling history.
I'm one of the thousands of sponge pockets inside these sponge towels here. You know, people ask me all the time, are you really as absorbent as a sponge? Wow, what a great question. Embarrassing. Is that as absorbent as a sponge enough for you? Sponges. Sponge towels with super absorbent sponge pockets. Nothing absorbs like it.
What you're about to see will change the way you look at weather. Presenting the revolutionary Rain-X Latitude wiper blades. Many traditional wipers have 6 pressure points that can create uneven pressure and cause streaking. Rain-X Latitude blades contour to hug the windshield for greater visibility and virtually no streaking. So it's like weather never happened. Get ultimate visibility with Rain-X Latitude wiper blades. Rain-X, available at Walmart.
Back-to-back national championships, Canadian junior titles for Kaitlyn Laws and her team out of the Pembina Curling Club. And we made mention of the fact that this was the last time you're going to play a junior women's game, and this is a wonderful way to go out. Congratulations.
I'm not done juniors yet.
Oh, that's right. You got the Worlds coming up. That's true. That's true. But it's a wonderful feeling nonetheless.
Oh my goodness, it's the best feeling in the whole entire world. I can't even explain it. It's amazing.
It started out, both teams, it seemed to Russ and I, that you were inconsistent in your shot making, but you got to give full credit to your team. After the break, you really picked it up.
Oh, they shot the lights out. They played phenomenal the whole week and couldn't ask for better teammates.
Congratulations, and we wish you well at the Worlds. You're going to play in the Olympic facility. Have a wonderful time, and again, congratulations from all of us.
Thank you so much.
Kaitlyn Laws and her team from the Pembina Curling Club are the M&M Canadian Junior Champions here on TSN.
The generation that swore it would never get old didn't. Welcome to the summer of life. New Touch of Gray from Just for Men. Lets you keep a little gray. Works gradually. Easy. New Touch of Gray.
Every night, millions of Canadians sleep easy, knowing they have their licensed insurance broker to champion their needs in the event of a claim. Your best insurance is an insurance broker. Every night, millions of Canadians sleep easy, knowing they have their licensed insurance broker working for them, protecting their homes, automobiles, and businesses. A professional who's on their side, offering a choice of the best insurance companies, coverage tailored to their particular needs, and who is their champion in the event of a claim. Your best insurance is an insurance broker.
Bonjour, Michel.
Merci, monsieur.
Back pain. It doesn't just make you feel bad. Robax Platinum doesn't just relieve back pain. It also relaxes those tight, tense back muscles. Robax Platinum, helping you walk away from back pain.
Reminder, we're back with you at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for the men's final. From here in Salmon Arm, Dylan Johnson from Thunder Bay, Brett Gallant from Charlottetown, PEI. Both of them at 9 and 3, and they had wonderful weeks. So it's Johnson and Gallant tonight. Yeah, difficult for the losers always. Ontario, people will question that decision in the 8th. But congratulations to Kaitlyn Laws, back-to-back championships for Manitoba. The M&M Canadian Juniors are here on Canada's sports leader, TSN.